love. And what I can't play the whole tape, but Dr. King did do a lecture series on this, where he lectured on each freedom. And I just want to play maybe the first 20, 30 minutes of it. So, and then we can lecture on it. Okay? I'll do a little lecture on it. Don't record this. That's why. It moves it from one place to the next. It sustains it. Now, if it's the carry, it's the same thing I was telling you last week, that when you pray in a 12 lesson practice, it is the love energy that moves that energy from you to the object. It is the love energy that does that. You know, it's not your mind, it's not you forcing it. It's a love energy that you are able to create and project from your body that actually carries that energy to the target. So,
and by love, the feeling, the
emotions, the honesty, the wisdom that you put into it, because love can only be manifested at the highest level through knowledge. Okay? Now I know some people say, "Oh, you don't need all that knowledge," and that's crazy. It is the love manifest through wisdom. It doesn't manifest through passion. It doesn't manifest on the higher levels through passion. It doesn't manifest through the higher levels through possession. It manifests through wisdom. The same way bravery. The only way you can have bravery is through having the right knowledge of something. And love falls on the same principle. When you have the right knowledge of something, then you can love. It's just like Dr. King was saying, if you're standing on a mountaintop and you look down, you have a better perspective now. You understand. You can see the good and the bad. You can see the glory of everything because of the height that you're on. And now you can express a greater love for the environment, for everything. So it's only when we move our level of consciousness from the lower chakras up to the higher chakras that we can manifest this pure love, this impersonal love. And that's what we're talking about. So it's through wisdom that that we have and understanding we have to push that energy out of us and express our undying love for humanity, that our energies become greater and stronger. And in fact, one of the reasons why the Master Jesus was able to do the miraculous healing that he did is because through his love energy. He was a master of love energy. So he was able to call somebody up from the dead because he had so much control over that love energy. See, so and then he was able to add time on their life in the physical on this physical plane. So that was his ability to manipulate this love energy in the upper chakras. So that's what, so we got to understand that love is the energy of transmutation. I explained this. Well, Dr. King explained it. I wrote it down for you so you can understand it. Yeah.
How does love bind our consciousness to our body in a sense, like within Kundalini, where does love play in all that?
It's the preservation. It acts as the karmic energy in the body.
So when you die and you separate the consciousness from the body, is that love within the physical body, I guess, ceasing? Or the time
it's that you did all you can do with that cellular structure. You're taken to the highest level you can take it to. You know,
But the love that was binding, that was holding that together is released. Then. The love, the energy.
because it's going through a transmutation. Death is the initiation. You go through they call it the initiation of death. Why? Because you move into a higher level of energy. See, because you have did everything you can do with those, with that body. Even some yogis, if you read in a couple of books, the Autobiography of a Yogi and the book was Swami Rama. In his book, he talked about a great master who had tremendous power, right? And what did he do? He didn't want to vacate his body and go to the highest realms and live for the next couple thousand years. He had work to do. But the energies in his body, he had did everything he can do with it. And karma dictated that he had to leave. So what did he do? He went and found a young man who had just died, and he took his body. And he took his consciousness out of his body and put it into that body. And the man was like 18 years old or 19. So it added time to his life here on earth.
Black magic?
No, that's not black magic. That man had expired. so he moved on in another body. And for the next 10 to 20 years, he was seen all over. And the funny thing about it too, when he appeared to his disciples, they knew him. They knew it was him, even though he was in a whole nother body. But karma dictated that he had to leave his 70-some-year-old body. He had to step out of that body because he had not prepared that body to live a couple hundred years or whatever he needed to do. He was busy developing himself and doing other missions that he did not prepare himself to actually extend the life of that particular body. So he took that body where he can take it, and then he stepped out and when he got into another body.
Like a car.
Yeah.
Just took the consciousness from that body, let's say.
Yeah. He just moved because you remember this. It's somebody like Dr. King who took Kundalini up to the throat center at a very, very early age. And I think it's like 29 or 30 or something like that, right? So that means that he was conscious for the next, how long he lived?
79, I think, 78 or something.
He lived to 77 or 78.
Yeah.
So that means that he was conscious for the next 40-some years, 24 hours a day. That means that every time he laid down his head, he just stepped out of the body and went doing another job on another realm. See? So he got to know the realms of this earth very well. So the unknown aspect in our lives that caused fear, he did not have it. See, you may fear death. Like one student said to me, "Oh yeah, but Madam Blavatsky and Dr. King, they reached these great heights, but they still died." What a stupid question, a statement. Death was not a fear to them because every day they got up. Every day they went to sleep, they seen what death was. They visited the other side that we call death. So they was very aware of it. They was able to go to all the different realms. They was able to visit all the mystery schools. They was able to go and see all the different terrains and all the different exotic type people, on all the different realms. So this became, like an everyday thing. It wasn't the unknown, and there was no fear to develop in their auric bodies. They had understanding and knowledge, so they had extreme bravery. It was nothing that can bring about such fear on them. So death was only a process for them to take on a better, a stronger body, you know? Yeah.
So if death is an initiation from a lower energy to a higher energy, then what would you consider, is birth an initiation from higher to lower energy? Or incarnation?
It could be, it could not be.
It depends, right, on the
Yeah,
person.
depends on the individual. You know, but it is a part, because all life is about involving and evolving. You gotta go down and come back up. And Dr. King talked about that when he talked about the different
Going up and
states
down.
that you go through. You know, when you go into different mystical states, and then you come back out, and you feel real depressed and low, and you know, so that's true. When you have these elevated states, you come back out, and you can't stand to look at anybody. You know, you know, everything disgusts you because you was at this great elevated state, and then you come back down, and you locked into this body, and you know, your consciousness is not, you know, it doesn't have the radius that it had before. You know, it doesn't have this great awareness that it had. You locked in this body, and it's hard for you to, it's very hard to find the right words to explain, you know, the level of joy that you experience in that state while locked into this physical body. You know, so it's a great difference. So that's what brings on this depression. You know, it's frustration. So that's the difference.
And as you were saying, that the opposite of love is hate. Does hate carry the same attributes as love in being able to amplify itself by 4 each time
In
it's
the
rejected?
basic form.
In the basic one?
The opposite of love in its basic operation of energy is hate. Not in its highest form. It's in the highest form that the love multiplies itself by 4. In the basic form of love, he said it's the opposite in the basic form. It's not the opposite in the highest form.
So it's only amongst the lower realms can hate exist? Or in the basic?
Yeah. But you didn't get what he was saying. When he's talking about love, he said in love's basic form, the opposite of it is hate. Not the highest level of love. You understand?
So hate can exist in its highest form of love? There is no hate in the highest utilization of love?
No. It's ridiculous. Hate is ignorance.
Right.
So let's say in our example, in our case, we can manifest hate, but on the higher realms, there is no hate at all?
There's no hate.
Because he disputed ignorance at that point.
It's because it's stupid to hate. You don't understand that?
You understand?
Okay. 'Cause I mean, see, wisdom have you to understand that I am you and you, and you are me. See, that we're connected. So how can I hate? That's like hating my thumb, you know, or my heart. You know, so it's kind of crazy to, you know, hate is really ridiculous. Is when you think about it. Yeah.
What's confusing though, which is what you just said, at least for me, is when you think about the entity, for example, who was trying to do harm to this world, its inhabitants. Obviously, that's an entity that's raised Kundalini to a high level.
He didn't raise Kundalini in a proper way.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So he was working on the lower realms.
He was working, cause look, remember what I told you all, I tried to say it years ago in a simple manner. What did I say the front of the body is?
Oh, yeah.
Black magic.
Black magic, yeah.
Huh?
Black
Black
magic.
magic, but what particular word I used from Alice Bailey?
Glamour.
Glamour, right? Because why? It holds all the passion. You know, everybody always looking in the mirror trying to look the best, you know.
Vanity.
You know, vanity, that's just ridiculous. I mean, but in the back of the body, you really don't, you know, you really don't think about that too much, right? You know, you don't spend hours in the mirror looking in the back of the body.
Not true.
So the proper way to raise Kundalini is from the back through Shushanda. Now, what the black magicians do, they raise the body on the glamour side. See, the back of the body is evolution. The front of the body is glamour, vanity, passion, all these things. And what they do, you have this gnotic system that's really focused on the front of your body. You know, these subtle glandules that they push Kundalini through in 1,000 different parts, you know, and they stimulate the chakras in order to build this negative energy, in order to give tremendous power to this negative energy. And that's how they do their magic.
So what about the real advanced beings in Operation Carmelite that they were trying to kill, where they tricked them into having them chase them into the higher realm?
Yeah, the same thing. They were adepts of black magic who had raised Kundalini up in the front of the body.
So then how were they able even to enter the higher realms in the chase to be transmuted where, you know, that being is supposed to be like full of hate?
Because because remember, energy is impersonal. All energy. You put the intent behind the energy. Energy is a substance that you can mold and shape the way you want to.
Right.
So they can mold and shape energy to go wherever they want to go. But when they hit the highest realm, they did not have enough magic to manipulate that type of energy.
And it was instantly
Because that type of energy, it lacked what? Hate. It had all the highest virtues. So when they went through the portal of the highest realm that was flooded with all these high quality energies, they automatically was transmuted because the power of love was operating at the highest octave. So what happened? They went through there, and the laws of karma brought all the pressure that was due to them on them.
So disintegrated them?
And no, I'm saying it split their consciousness up into many different parts
and forced rebirth.
and forced them to go through rebirth, meaning that they couldn't come back as one individual. They had to come back as hundreds of individuals, so that they can't use the power that they had
that one consciousness.
gained in one consciousness. So that's the power of love. Yeah.
Is it the same way with bravery and fear? Like, is bravery and fear, are they opposites of each other? And
Yeah.
so do each of the freedoms have their kind of their negative counterpart in the lower level?
Everything
Has
does.
to be.
Everything does.
Everything has a negative counter.
Yeah. Everything.
Even up to
Everything has
solar,
Either the opposing force.
Yes.
even solar existence and Saturn existence?
Yeah, but remember when you get there, they have total control because they're working way above the crown chakra. They're working in stratospheres that we don't, and chakras that we don't even understand. See, because they're above the crown chakra. So at that point, they understand that the duality. Remember what we was talking about the other night? The number 11?
Master number.
Huh?
The
The
master
master number. So what is this?
Revelation.
It's the twin souls. Right? It's the twin aspects. It's aspect 1 and 2. I mean aspect 1 as opposite and negative, working as one consciousness. You know? And it's what? And what did you say?
Revelation.
Revelation, illumination. Okay, so they're operating at that level now. A level that we can't even begin to understand. You know, the Rosicrucians, they go and they try to understand 22 and 33 and all this, but they truly don't understand it. They truly don't. You know, it was something that was revealed to them, I don't know, back in the 1300s, but they truly don't. They lost the real meaning to it.
So in relation to like a physical energy, like electricity, locomotion, thermodynamics,
Mhm.
how would love be, the energy of love be expressed as a physical energy?
That is love. That is an aspect of love energy.
They won't be able to operate like that.
Because love allows it to operate in a time frame.
I mean, are you asking like what would preserve electricity? Like what preserves locomotion? Like
Well, I was asking you if there was an example of it.
Physical.
of love playing out in a physical force?
It's the equation itself.
Wouldn't it be like the binding itself of like molecules?
Well, no, I'm saying it's the equation, it's the wisdom that brought about the equation to allow those electrons to align themselves in that filament and to sustain itself for a long period of time. It's the equation itself. The equation itself expressed love. It's the equation. And the greater wisdom and the greater understanding they have on that subject to bring about the necessary balance to sustain it, will express that power of love more and more and more and more.
So in order to move certain things or transmute, like the person who transmute, who transfers whatever is soul to another body, his spirit to another body. Now, in order for you to do that, do you have to have that extreme power of love to do it?
Yeah, I mean, a person who did that means they were operating in the upper chakras. So they was able to raise Kundalini to a high state and vacate the body. And then move their consciousness to the next body. Yeah, they had to be operating. They had the power because love operates in the heart, the throat, and the Christ chakra. That's the type of energy that we're talking about. It operates in those three chakras.
So I mean, he had to vacate this body through his crown.
Well, when you get ready to vacate the body and raise the Kundalini, that's what you do. You exit the crown chakra.
But he consciously had to do that.
He had to consciously do
to hold
that.
it, to keep his consciousness.
So did he have to get permission though, I guess, is my question. Did he-
Well, by manipulating karma, he got permission. Karma, if he didn't have permission, he wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been a negative act. So the fact that he was able to exit his body and do that and live for the next 20, 30 years in that body, in that younger body, for the next 60 years probably, in that younger body, then, it showed that he had permission from the law of karma.
I guess the
Yeah,
weekend was asking
karma to do that.
Yeah.
what permission did he need any from the person, or what impact did that have on the person?
No, it has nothing on it. He probably helped that person.
Right, so that person was benefited in some way too.
Yeah,
because
they
the
had a
body was-
benefit. Yeah.
But he did.
Because,
Yeah, but in some way, but in some way.
under the law of karma, we're responsible for all the material that we use throughout all our lives.
Right.
That's right.
Throughout all our lives, we're responsible for that material.
That's right.
Oh, so the body that guy was using is
Yeah, even though he
that's
had
why
died,
it's of those cells. Oh,
Yeah, even though he had died, he was responsible to make sure that body was cremated or buried before while he was living. He was supposed to do something to see to it that body be put away after he died.
Yeah, and not contaminate the earth.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to leave your body here without giving instructions. You should dispose of the body in the proper way. And the proper way is through cremation.
So in that case, there has to be an agreement or permission with the higher soul, or what we call the
Higher self.
higher self. Thank
Yeah.
you. With the higher self, because you know how sometimes they say,
He was, if he was a master, if he was a Kundalini master operating on the higher chakra, then he was in constant communication with his higher self. See, because at that point, the higher self is your consciousness. You're working on a superconscious level. You're not working on the conscious, the basic conscious, subconscious level. You have moved your consciousness to a superconscious level state. So in that, at that point, him being able to do that, he was an avatar, because he was able to move consciousness, move his Kundalini consciousness to the Christ center. So he really understood the law in order to do that.
What do these numbers mean on the
Well,
chart?
This is my way of expressing the difference between the energy of love.
Well, why did you
Personal love.
Why did you put intellectual love below individual love?
Because it is.
You don't feel it's higher love?
No.
But intellectual love is a love, I would say, fueled or based on knowledge, more so than
Well, it
individual love.
depends on, in our world, I'm looking at the world, I'm not looking at the metaphysical part of it. On the intellectual love, with us being metaphysicians, it would, we would rank somewhere around humanity, love for humanity, as opposed to a businessman intellectual love. His love for the individual is to make as much money as he wants, as he can, and to make sure that they produce the money that he wants them to produce.
The intellect of the people that made the atomic weapons, atomic
Yeah.
bombs. That's true.
Out of fear, thinking that, if they have this and they can kill 1 million people and make everybody else step back.
Even Hitler was intellect.
Yeah, yeah. And a vegetarian and a mystic, so, but a mystic of the dark arts. So, he had intellectual love for his people. He had it wasn't impersonal, it wasn't impersonal love.
So like possessive love is minus 10,000 squared? Is that
In my opinion, in my opinion, think about it.
That leads to all kind of
I don't
problems, though.
understand the scale.
Think about it. We talking about impersonal love versus possessive love versus passionate love. It's a negative energy. It's a negative energy. How many times you hear a possessive spouse killing the spouse,
Killing the family.
killing the family, beating them. I mean, just beating the wife.
Burning down the house
abusing.
with everybody.
Yes, go and shoot everybody. Just over the vacation, we had one man go just for the vacation, the Christmas vacation. One man killed his wife,
Mother-in-law.
I mean, and then he tried to kill the
His
baby,
daughter, yeah.
but the baby survived. The child survived. I mean, possessive. You don't think that's 10,000 to,
No, the same with these, like, minus 50,000 to the fifth power. That's astronomical numbers.
It's astronomical because
You gotta think about the farmer who it affected.
That's right.
It'll affect everyone.
It affects you for lifetime. And it's that type of energy that created the lower astral realms.
With the passionate love.
Yeah.
Passionate love.
Yeah.
I would think the passionate love leads to possessive love.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's this passionate love that leads to possessive love and greed and all these things, and which really destroyed our earth. When you think about it. It had us stuck in the lower astral realms for hundreds of thousands of years, for millions of years. So other than that, we would be living on the etheric realm, in the heart chakra, and we wouldn't have to go through all of this.
So where would you say the etheric would start? Maybe like family or neighborly love around
Most likely humanity. the love for humanity. It begins with family, and ends in humanity. And then love expressed through wisdom. So I mean, we have a long way to go. I mean, you know, we're you know, people have to understand the effect that you have, and this is, it's just letting you know why you are where you at, and why your environment is the way it is. It's because if you think about it, where do we, look at all our advertising. Look at all the products in the store.
Passionate love.
Yeah. You walk through the store and just think on that level. Why are these products here?
Even technology.
Yeah.
I heard technology is a direct representation of our consciousness. The
Yeah.
level of technology is the level of our consciousness.
Yeah. And the biggest line item cost in all business,
Labor.
what?
Labor.
Not labor,
Not advertising.
Marketing?
marketing. The biggest line item cost in in every business is marketing. Why is that? To pierce the auras of individuals, to implant the right seed to make you do what they want you to
Mind
do.
control.
The right seed in their mind.
In their mind, yeah.
Right.
To make you drones to go and buy, eat, and do whatever they want you to do.
But I'll tell you, like, I work for a marketing company, and
What's they doing?
they're doing it, but they don't see it. Like,
What's they doing?
it's IT though, so I'm not influenced.
I had a friend who expressed the desire that he wanted to see those advertisements on billboards specifically, just made illegal. Like he views them as like visual pollution. I kind of like that idea, but then again, I'm also not really sure about imposing my will on the existing creation.
That's what it's all about. It's corporations upon corporations of black musicians.
Even the war machinery is all about.
Yes, because when you go into most big companies that's very successful, that's been around for a while, that's their main budget line item. Market, or advertise. Those are 10 rules of business to advertise. 10 rules of business is to advertise.
I think the worst part of it is that they target the children now through all these ads.
But like you said, like to practice to control other people's will takes so much more energy than to be compassionate to people. Isn't that like just a physical manifestation of that? It takes so much energy. You have to advertise. Yet, if you were simple and you were to love everybody, appropriately, you wouldn't use so much energy, right?
No, you won't use as much, but people will come slowly.
You wouldn't be as rich.
So let's be realistic. If their whole thing is greed,
And fitful.
they want to reach as many people as they want.
The reason sex sells is because that's where most people are.
What?
But the reason sex sells is because that's where level's where most people are.
That's where the that's where the consciousness is.
And fear.
Yeah. You can't have that basic consciousness without having fear in operation. And ignorance. Now, fear is ignorance too. Just like hate is ignorance. Fear, the only reason why fear exists is because of ignorance.
The only reason you fear death is because you don't understand it.
You don't understand it, yeah. And the majority of the time, when you have any type of fear going on in your psyche, you need to ask yourself, why am I fearing this? And then you'll realize, because I really don't understand it. So if you gain the understanding, then you gain the power over that. You take all the power away from it. You know, just so that's the, you know, that's the key to gaining power over something is knowledge, or finding the opposite energy level of that particular thing. See, in other words, if you find a place where fear can't exist, then you say, okay, I have power over that. And the place where fear can't exist is in the pool of wisdom, when you know all the parameters of it. You know, so then you come, so now you can walk, you know, right up into this fear and not fear it. Or the thing that you're fearing, the object that you're fearing, you can walk right up to it and not fear it, because why? You have all the knowledge of that particular thing.
So like spiritual practices like 12 blessings in combination with living amongst society and working amongst society, will that cause the oscillations between, like, say, impersonal love back to individual love and going up and down until we, like Dr. Kim was talking about, until we level it out?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, my wife complained about me all the time. You know, in the sense she tell me, she said, you love me the way you love everybody else. So it will take you back and forth. It will take you back and forth, but you'll find that level. You know, you'll find that level. Don't go nowhere. But you'll find that level. You'll find that level where you need to be. You know, but it will take you back and forth, and the people close to you, they'll think you're crazy. You know, they'll think you're crazy, but it will take you back and forth, because what you'll do, you'll find yourself expressing that love more and more and more and more and more and more. You'll find yourself doing that, you know, and you won't be able to help yourself. But that's a problem. That's a problem that you will find yourself at a low, at a high, at a low, at a high, at a low, at a high, at a low.
Was that the reason why the yogis of the past, they would go out to the mountains and get away from everybody?
Yeah, a lot of times it was. And not only that, too, some weird way they thought that it would extend their life.
What, being away from people?
Yeah.
So,
Because you're trying to say that's distortion on the aura.
What?
Yes.
when the world, when people tell you, oh, you're not emotional, you're impersonal. You know, you don't have, you know,
No attachment.
I have no passion.
Right.
Yeah.
And you kind of question yourself. You say, am I weird? You know, is that just?
Are you cold?
Yeah, you cold. Yeah.
No, it's a level of understanding and wisdom. That's what it is.
You still love, but you don't show any emotional.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that are unknown, does anyone here know anything about the MIB?
MIB, what is that?
You know the Men in Black?
Oh, the Men in Black.
I'm serious.
What about MIB?
Men in Black.
I know, what is he asking about it?
Do anybody know about it?
Oh, they're saying they're real?
Is it really
A
real?
lot of people believe that they are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen any black helicopters?
But regardless, I'm sure the government itself, like all the hidden stuff that they have behind the scenes, that's all part of it. If there's an MIB, it's just another side of the government hiding something. Just like everything else.
Yeah, if it exists.
But we don't know.
So we went over this a little bit. Love is energy which has different octaves of existence. It is mutable and transmitted. We went over that, right? And now you can see in this where love is the transmuter of war, right? It is the creator of peace. Love is such, is the healer of disease. You know, so when you look at the energy on that level of impersonal love, that's what transpires. You can, you can bring about peace. You can fight war with love. You know?
In what way?
Yeah.
In what way?
I mean, if it's not that ooey gooey feeling by handing out dandelions, if it were, like, how do we?
Through this.
The 12 lessons?
Read the Mars story.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that.
But that's what we need to get to.
It's not
You
just,
know?
it's not just in the monster, but you remember Dr. King told us how to do things like that with the little simple book he gave you, the 12 blessings. You can use that. The 12 blessing service, you do it on a regular basis. How many times you set up to do it? You can stop hurricanes. You can stop wars too. But it's not the energy. If you have to do it 1 or 2 or 3 times a day, it'll work. It worked in the past for us, and you can make it work too. Just become a patient at it, and it become even better when you, especially. I know you could become even better when you begin to get so good at what you can do it dynamically. Yeah, you could do it.
I've heard.
And war, remember, the whole thing, what Bernard had brought up, the way the adepts lured these black musicians from the lower hells to follow them, to chase them. You know, because they understood and they knew where this great power of love manifested. And that's why they had them to chase them up to the higher realms, knowing that once they reached there, they would be, reborn in a proper balance. You know, so it's understanding the law and the knowledge of love that'll have you to be able to do those things. And I don't know, it was in the last freedom where Dr. King talked about. He said if there was a real country of Christians, that
They wouldn't need the military.
they wouldn't need a military. They wouldn't need a military. You know, so if the United States was a truly Christian country, or Britain was a truly Christian country, or even Russia was a truly Christian country, they wouldn't need a military, because no one would dare, come on their shores with any thought of harming them. They wouldn't dare do it, because of the power of love. Yeah.
I've heard stories of, like, in some Middle East place, there was some battle going on in a neighborhood, and these people were trapped inside of a temple, and they decided to sit there and meditate, like possibly a month, and that they just sat there while there was gunshots going on outside, and eventually everything mellowed down, and they just continued sitting there, and then finally there was just like complete silence, and no one was harmed.
Yeah, that's possible. In fact, in the police training, they teach them to demonstrate this love too. Go and study some of their training, the way they disarm a person. They walk up to a person, they bring a calm state they teach them to bring a calm state on their mind, and to not to be in a defensive stand or stature, and connect with the person, to diffuse the person.
Disarm.
That person become, they go into this disarmed state, then the police launch at them and take them down. But that's, but they taught this basic form of love, so it works. It works. And I can go on many, many different things, but it works. So yes, it can stop war, it can heal disease, it can do all those things. Most of Jesus' healing, he did it with love. You know, he did it with love.
But say for those who are hell-bent on starting another conflict or starting another war, and we're sending out love energy to them, would it be necessary for some of those individuals who just refuse to change their mind or refuse to accept that love to physically die in order to be transmuted?
It may. But if you're sending out the love, you shouldn't be thinking about that, though. You have to raise your mind above that. And you have to send out impersonal love. And don't necessarily target those people, but send out enough love to help raise their consciousness, to give them the insight to walk a straight line, you know, to do the right thing.
But at the same time, if I'm sending out love to them and that person suddenly gets a heart attack, I shouldn't be surprised.
Well, no, you shouldn't.
I didn't want them to, like I wasn't.
No, you shouldn't, but I mean, that's if your mind go there, you know. But you know, but it could happen that way, yes. Because it's an energy, remember. You know, love is just like a bullet that you put inside a gun and you aim it. It's the energy. You know, the intent of the love lies behind you on where you, on what you're aiming at and what you're trying to do. Now, you can use this love to kill, to heal, you know, or to change things for the better.
And going back to what you were saying a while ago, so there's certain people, like certain bodies that their molecular, their energetic structure can't handle that. Like you were saying a little while ago, like you're praying, like going back to what Dawn said, you're praying, and is it possible for some corrupt ass individual to die because his body couldn't handle that love energy? You know, being imposed, like not imposed.
What, you sending energy to them?
Yeah, you're sending impersonal love. But their bodies can't handle it, so they must die and go into another body to be able to use that energy.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It's a possibility that can happen. One of the correct balance ways to send energy is that you can send the energy to the divas of that area. And the divas can take the energy and balance it off. Or you direct it to that area for the use of the divas. You know, and then the divas you send the impersonal love to the divas, and the divas take that energy and balance that energy where it need to be balanced at.
So it's not recommended to project at a specific individual.
If you go into like a country or whatever, I mean, if you're doing a healing path, it's all right to do that. If you're doing a healing, if you're doing absent healing with prayer, because you can do absent healing with prayer, it's all right to do that. But if you send it to a large individual, to like a country or a city or something like that, then you know you want to send the energy to the divas.
What do you mean by diva?
It's a whole nother subject. So, I explained it a little bit. Let me answer.
No, that was the question.
The divas, or the question of the divas. Somebody want to answer that?
Go ahead, Dawn.
What are divas? The diva kingdom is a race of beings. Well, let's go into a simple way. You heard of elves and fairies? They exist. Okay. Now, but they don't exist in the way most people think they exist. What they are a race of beings that accepted freedom instead of free will. In other words, we're studying the 9 freedoms. And in the beginning, we were offered freedom to have access to all the powers, all the energies around us, or free will to find our way, to go to the lowest level and find our way and do whatever we want to do. We accepted free will. The Diva Kingdom accepted freedom. Now, they don't live on a realm like our realm. They live between the realms. They live on a vibrational state between the realms. And water, when you have water, you have the presence of a diva. When you have fire, you have the presence of a diva. When you have solid, something that's solid, a diva is here. Okay, when you have air, a diva is here. So a diva is always here. They control these elements. All the elements around us, they actually control. All right, that's the diva kingdom.
Yeah.
And they come in all shapes, all forms, all body types. I seen divas that had a water type body. I seen divas with an airy type body. I seen divas that look similar to some of the depictions they have on television. And I seen divas that have a rocky type body.
Like elementals.
You know, yeah.
Druids call elementals.
And I seen divas that look like dragons. But they live in this psychic realm, this psychic vibrational realm. You know, the strangest thing is, especially if you don't know, like you get on an airplane, right? And you go up in the air, and you happen to look out the window, and you'll see dozens and dozens of divas if you were psychic, because anywhere you have machines running, there's divas manipulating that energy. See? And if you didn't have any type of knowledge and understanding, you'll think the plane is being torn apart, it's being attacked. You know, but those are the diva, that's the diva king. And they're real busy, and they run around back and forth, you know, real busy life. You know, and it's a strange thing to look at. Also, within the aura of most people, you see many, many divas playing up and in and out of their auras, right? So they take care of the energy, the thought and actions that we release into the air is the energy that they use to manipulate things. So sometimes the best way to manipulate energy is to release it to the divas if you don't have the ability to do it yourself. Like if you're trying to release energy to stop a storm, you give the energy to the diva kingdom and allow them to do the best with it. If you're trying to bring water to a famine area, you give the energy to the divas and let them, manipulate that energy. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what a diva is.
But do we, like say an example for world peace, if we're praying for world peace, do we pray and ask the divas to manifest world peace, or we just send the energy to the divas?
Send the energy out. In the practice that we do in 12 blessings, it automatically goes to the diva. It's designed to do that. But yes, if you want to say that, when we say we're sending this energy out to world peace, then that energy will go out around the world and it'll be sucked in by those divic beings that need that energy. And the reason why you send it out to the world, because wherever it needs to go, it goes. You don't care. If you try to individualize it, you bring down the level of energy. Especially if you don't have the ability to remove your feelings from it. All right, that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to place your feelings, your personal feelings into that energy. You want the energy to have an impersonal level so that it stays at a high level. And that's one of the secrets.
Quick question. They can only work from the energy that they receive from us, or do they have their own power to manipulate things without?
They have their own power to manipulate the energies, but they use the energy that we give them. That's their job. Their job is to use the energy that we give. The same way that, like, when you have plant life, a diva is there. A plant is a diva in a sense. What happens? We breathe. The plant push out oxygen. Why does the plant push out oxygen? Because it takes the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and manipulate that gassy energy and push it out as oxygen so that we can use it again for our betterment or our detriment. All right? So, but it's the quality of energy that we gave that plant that will produce the quality of oxygen that we need. You know, that if that oxygen is laced with something, it's because that's the energy we gave the plant to work with. You understand? So that's the difference. So they work strictly in the law of karma. They work strictly in the law of karma. We send out negative thoughts and negative energy, then it takes that negative energy and it manipulates the proper response. And it gives us negative events back to us. Okay? So some years ago, we sent out a lot of negative energy, and we got Hurricane Andrew, and we got Hurricane Katrina and Wilma. That was the negative energy coming back to us because we sent that energy out. You know, so that's that's what the divas do.
Same with earthquakes and tsunamis.
Same with earthquakes and tsunamis, yeah.
Well, natural disasters.
Yeah. So everybody got a understanding of this love energy? Any other questions?
I'm not sure it has to do with love, but there's the universal law of karma. Are there any other laws? Or is that the one law that governs all the other?
The law of karma can be described in many, many ways. It's the framework of law that holds creation
I'm
and
asking,
manifestation.
I read a Hermetic mystic book, and in that book it said there were 7 universal laws, and one of them was the law of karma, and there were 6 others. And
No.
that's all that.
That's just someone not knowing what they're talking about. All law is karmic law. And, you know, I mean, just like the 10 Commandments is a part of the karmic law. All right? The Egyptians had 55 commandments, part of the karmic law. The Jewish people, I don't know how many, they had so many laws. What, 632 or something like that? 632 is all karmic law. So it doesn't, it's all described in one law. You know, because there's so many aspects to the law. You know, so I mean, it's, that's the way it is. I mean, don't get caught up in thinking that there's another, no. All of it is the karmic law. Everything responds to the law of karma. The law of karma is the divine will being expressed.
That's that.
Yeah. It's the divine will being expressed.
What's the formula for love?
What you mean, formula for law?
Like Dr. King said, there's this exact formula. Is it like an equation? Or?
Well, it said that it creates itself from itself. It's the only energy that creates itself from itself. Okay? Meaning that if you had an object that it was going to, and that object was resisting this love, right? Then the energy is reflected back, right? And it multiplies itself. It multiplies itself by 4. And it returns to the object.
So now it's
Now, in order for the object to resist that love, they have to build a resistance by 4. And then if it does that, it reflects back. But now you have 4, right? So it multiplies itself by 4 again and go back at 16. So this has to multiply itself by 4. Times 16 in order to resist it. And it keeps doing that until it breaks through and bring about transmutation. That's the formula he was talking about.
So it increases by multiplication of 4 or increases by a factor of 4?
It multiplies itself by 4. So that's why in the ancient teachings it said the love of God which never fails.
So like when it reflects back, it's going back to the actual.
Whoever sent it out.
Whoever sent it, the source.
Yeah, it's going to multiply itself by 4. It doesn't have to go to the source because it is the source now. It has a directive. And the directive is to bring about a transmutation of the object that is aimed at.
So it doesn't have to go back to the source because it's above mind?
Yeah. It's not only above mind, but it's been given a directive. It's a life now. It tucks on a life.
So it becomes its own
It's just like a guiding missile,
Mhm.
right? If you have a guiding missile and you shoot that guiding missile out, right? The guiding missile going to go to its target, right?
Mhm.
Is genetically, this is the target. It's linked to that, and it must go there. The difference between this guiding missile of love is that it has the ability to create itself over again from itself. So you're never gonna get rid of it. You're never gonna get rid of it. You die or you change. And even if you die, you still change. So that's what needs to happen. That's why the energy of love is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And to misuse this energy it takes on multiple levels of karma, negative karma on you.
Wow.
So,
But how could it, if it transmutes to a higher energy frequency, how could it be
No,
used
I'm saying if you
negatively?
misuse it.
But how could it be misused?
Because like I said, it's an energy. A person, a mystic, a black musician of the arts, he can take this same love energy and use it in a negative way.
But doesn't love push you to a higher energy level?
Yeah, but he gain a hold. He takes a hold of that love by bringing the energy to the front of his body and misusing it.
Just like the guy who killed his family?
Huh? Yeah. Well, not that. I mean, that's basic. I'm talking about a black musician, an adept, a master of the black arts. He can take the same energy and manipulate it. He can take that same energy and manipulate it wrong.
I understand how. Like if I'm a black magician and I send love to Ivan, how can that hurt him?
It's your intent.
It's your intent behind the love. It's the mind substance that you put into that modified love energy to make him do what you want him to do.
Because love is preservation, so whatever energy you send out has love in it.
Yeah.
Even though you're sending it out to kill someone.
And you want to influence him to do whatever you want to do to enrich, your position.
Okay.
You understand?
So love wouldn't refuse to work in that case?
No, I mean, because love is everywhere. Satan has love. I mean, the love energy is all pervasive. It's not exclusive. It operates on its highest level in the upper chakras, but it also operates in the lower chakras too, and a basic level, and then a very, very negative level.
Would interpretation be like using electricity for good and then electricity to kill someone?
Yeah.
Energy is energy. It is
Like I said, it's a
directed.
bullet that you can put into a gun and aim it wherever you want it to go.
But is there any type of energy that will refuse to be used for a negative purpose, or it's all
All energy.
All energy.
But when does that, how about the protection, that the shield that you have? There are some times that you are in that light, in that strip of light, not everything can penetrate your energy field. No?
No, not always. No. Don't believe that. You have to bring about an effort to protect yourself. Some people say, well, just step into the light. Okay, go ahead and step into the light. I see you a couple lifetimes from now, you know, after someone take you out of a slave trade on the lower astral realm. I mean, don't be taken away with that. There's evil forces on this earth, and they can capture you and enslave you for lifetime.
So you could sell your soul for you.
Well, it's not selling your soul. I mean, they just capture you and turn you into a slave for lifetime if they wanted to.
So
You know, one of the dark forces want to get a hold of you, and you know, and you don't have the ability or the power to resist. You're gone. I mean, so you know, don't think that you know you can just you know think positive and everything's all right. No. Now, if you manifest this type of love, this higher type of love, it does build a resistance where when they sense you, they don't want to come close to you. You know, because they like foul-smelling things. You know, they like the gross things of a lower nature. So you build your resistance up by expressing this love all the time. Of course, you know, you're not their target. You know, and that they know to come and trap you, they may get trapped by your guardians, your spirit guide, the people that's connected to you for the last, you know, several hundred lives. You know, that's what protects you.
Yeah.
Not just coming to the light, you know. So,
Like,
you know.
you can
That's
fortify,
what I meant, so.
Nehemiah, you can fortify your aura by mantra.
Yes, those are things that build a love energy in you. Those are things that build up love energy in you. I mean, mantra is an aspect of love, you know, because the soul plays that mantra, and it's a love energy because mantra is the energy that synchronizes all the energy within the body. So therefore, it must be a love energy. It must be a love energy because it brings about consciousness, and consciousness lasts through preservation, and the preservation of that is that love energy. So of course, but you know, don't, you know, because we live in this negative world, you know, we're bombarded by all these negative things. You know, don't think that you are in the, yeah. Don't think. I mean, I recommend everybody get that tape I think it's around the end of the tape. Dr. King talks about this healer that he came across, and this lady who was I think she was a lecturer or teacher or something, you know, and she, you know, she was a projectionist. She was able to project very easy from her body and go do things on the other realms. And not necessarily the lower realms, but the other realms. But anyway, she came to Dr. King for help. And she said that this particular healer was after her, trying to lure her into the lower astral realms.
A healer was
A healer was after her, trying to lure her in the lower astral realms, in the sleep state, in this projected state. And he Dr. King said, "You sure it's him? It can't be him because this guy's a real good healer. He's an excellent healer. You know, I can't believe that he would do something like that." And she said, "I'm sure it's him." So several weeks later, the lady's wife came to Dr. King and said she cannot sleep. She's getting very, very ill. She's afraid to sleep. She's missing work. She's trying to sleep during the daytime because this is happening. So Dr. King went to her and told her, he gave her a particular phrase to say when she's in trouble. He told her, go to sleep and just say this phrase and I'll come, you know, if this guy show up again. So, and this was a real good healer, you know, and a very spiritual person. So he was in the light too, man. So he, you know, the lady the lady gave the phrase and went, calling on Dr. King, and then Dr. King said he heard it. He said it wasn't too long. He heard it on the ethers, and he went and he projected from his body and he went to her. And when he got there, to his shocking, there the guy was. And the guy was there trying to lure her down to the lower astral realms. Now what had happened, this guy, he had a splinter in the mind sometime, in his auric field somewhere.
A splinter?
A splinter, where he was able to be used by a black magical order to recruit people for him. So they wanted this particular lady who was a teacher or whatever. So they went and recruited him, unbeknown to himself, and to lure people to this black magical order who was doing all type of stuff on the lower astral realms to affect these on the physical realms and to get them more energy. So of course, he said the guy was totally under a trance. He had no idea that he was being used like this. And Dr. King said when he got there, this guy began to use energy against him. Began to try to throw, do all these different type of magical spells or whatever, or energies. So he said, of course, he knocked him out, and he went to the lower hells and kicked a lot of them out of the place, the black magical order, and kind of broke their hold on the people they were recruiting on the physical plane in the other realm. But he said he went back. He said the guy was totally unaware of it, and the guy was living a decent life. And I mean, he didn't charge for his services. He took all his money and put it back into buying better equipment and whatever he was doing. And he really, really, gave his life to service. But he had a kink in his armor. See, so it can happen. We can be doing things and participating in things that will create that door of opportunity for the dark forces. I mean, we can be doing, 75%, of all the right things, 98%, and leave 2% open, and they attack us. So that's why we're given these practices to help fortify our resistance, to help build a strong resistance, to help clean out the negative energy that we store there on a regular basis. Because we can walk into a donut shop and catch something. We can go to work and catch something. The same way you can catch a virus, you can go to work and be around negative people and pick up something. And it opens a window, and then all of a sudden you having these strange thoughts. You say, wonder where that came from? And you having these strange desires, and you done picked up, some type of mental virus from someone else that have implanted a desire or a thing, that you want. It's the same way when we eat things. We get addicted to it, So that's why it's always best to take on these mystical practices and use them for your benefit. I don't believe in the New Age and spiritualist thing about coming to the light and imagine it's like. No, you have to do the practices in order to protect yourself. So don't be taken by that. Any other questions?
So even with the violet flame practice, you can do that, but
That's a mystic practice. Those are things you should do every day.
those are the ones you should practice.
Yeah. Those are things you should do every day. The mantra you should do every day. You can do mantra while driving down the street. Any mantra that you were initiated in. You can do mantra while you're driving down the street. You can do mantra sitting at your desk. You can do mantra anywhere. You don't want someone to hear you doing it, but
When you think it, you're also still doing it.
Yeah, you do it. You can think it. You can whisper it. So you can do mantra, in several different ways. So, and all day long, if you wanted to. And it helps to cleanse the aura.
Can't
Helps
just
to
say,
purify
Lord,
the
help
aura.
me, Jesus, and that's good.
That's a mantra too, but but the more Sanskrit mantra works, it's better, But you can do that. I mean, back in the day, a lot of people, they used to call it tarrying, where they would say, Jesus, help me, or Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It works. Don't think it doesn't work. It doesn't work to the level that a mantra will work at, but it works. But any affirmation that brings about a balance, because every word you say is an energy. So any affirmation that you repeat over and over and over, you write that on your auric field, and it has a particular energy level that if that affirmation is correct and balanced, it will balance the energies in your aura, in your mental body. And it creates a screen of protection for you, so that when the dark forces or some lingering disconnected entity want to come and take advantage of any negative energy, you will not be the target, because you have cleansed and created a screen of protection on your aura, and that's what you want to do.
How do we know what we're doing at night?
Huh?
How do we know what we're doing at night? Like if I'm not aware, I'm asleep.
What did you do the day before? And what was your greatest desire?
Right, Garazon.
When you go into that sleep projected state, you go back and do those things that you enjoy doing the most, or that you put the most energy behind. So, if you put a lot of energy and love behind, troubleshooting on your computers, that's where you at. So you go there on your job, troubleshooting those computers.
You playing basketball all day and put the energy behind that?
That's where you at.
That might is a good practice to do the Soham mantra before you go to sleep.
Yeah. Because
Three times.
if you chant the mantra or any affirmation before you go to sleep, at least 10 to 20 minutes, you will continue doing that for at least 3 to 4 hours after you sleep. So that's a good practice if you want to do that. So that's a good way of doing it.
So that's why it's bad to go to sleep with TV on then.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
Because if it's bad show, then you just carrying that on,
You
right?
can't, or you strong enough to wake up, which is bad. It's really bad to go to sleep. Although I'm guilty of that, highly guilty of it.
Yes.
How do you discern from, your dreams, which ones are actual dreams and which ones are just your subconscious going out from whatever you watched or from whatever you were thinking of today? Or does it even matter?
Some people say it don't matter, but I learned that it did matter. That it's really, a dream a dream is really some type of past thought or action that you just redoing, and it's kind of dreamy type. But then you have the so-called dreams that if you picked up an apple and bit it, you taste it distinctly. That's not a dream, that's a vision. You having some type of psychic vision at that point, where you put your foot on the floor and you feel the pressure coming back at you, or you breathe and you can feel the cold or the heat of the breath. That's a vision. That's not, you're not in a dream state, you're having a vision. But if you do that in a dream state, you don't feel that. So that's how you know the difference between the dream and a vision.
So the dream state is not actually projecting the future? It's more past?
No. A dream state is like a past thought and built up energy inside the mental body that you reviewing. And you might review it in symbolism or whatever, but it's just dreaming. But when you actually having a vision that's actually showing you the future, or giving you some type of psychic insight into your higher consciousness, it's real. You can touch it and you can know that this desk is cold. So you know that you're not dreaming, that you're receiving a message from your higher self. You know, that's the difference. Yeah.
Is it still bad that TV is muted while you sleep?
TV is what?
Are you?
You can still hear it.
But
Yeah.
like what you were saying with the dreams, what if you felt pain because of something in your dream? Is it the same thing that you're having?
Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling that pain, then, because mostly, if you think about when you're having a dream and you get hurt, you necessarily don't feel the pain in a dream state. You just wake up, and then you have an emotional feeling. But if you're in that dream and you feel the pain, then you know that that's a vision. You know, and a neat way to do it is also you can recreate that vision type state. Dr. King has a tape called Psychic Self-Defense, and you can order that, and he gives a technique on there to allow you to have these visions, but more in an awakened state. And he gives you a type of meditation to do, or concentrative practice to do, to bring on these states, so that you can see the difference. And if you can do it, you'll feel it immediately. You know, I think one of the exercises is, I'm not going to give it for us, but you just go by the tape and listen to it. But what he does do, he tells you when you go into this mystic state, is to concentrate on that you're sitting on the shore of a lake, and that lake is calm. Huge lake now, and the water is calm, and you just sit there. And when you begin to do that, there's a lot more to it, but he'll go into it when you listen to the tape. But when you begin to do that, what will happen is that you'll begin to feel the wind and the sunlight hitting your face. You'll begin to see the golden sand out on the beach. You'll see the calmness of the lake. But as you get deeper into the mystic state, you begin to see the state of your mental and auric body. And that's the whole key. Listen to it. He's not going to tell you that, but I'm telling you that now. That this is what you're trying to get to. You're trying to see into your auric body. And inside your auric body is past, present, and future. Okay? So what happens is that when you're into this auric state, when you get into this mystic state, when you see a wave, when the waters get wavy, you know that things are not right. When you see a ship coming on a wavy ocean, a wavy thing, you know that bad things are coming. When you see the ship coming on a smooth crescent type pond, you know that good things are coming. It comes in symbolism, and that's the way you want to build it up until you get to the point where you don't have to use that anymore. You can actually see for yourself. But that's a beginning state, thing that you do. If you practice that practice over and over and over again while you're doing pranayama and your mantra, when you develop your psychic powers will come without all the symbolism. Or if you get stuck on the symbolism, it'll come with the symbolism. But that's what it does. It'll have you to see this. and you'll be able to see coming things, you know, bad things coming, good things coming, or things are just relatively new. Calm. But if you get the tape doesn't cost that much. I don't know how much it costs, but it doesn't cost that much. Get the tape. Or the CD. It's on CD now. It's 2 CDs, and it gives you all different type of techniques on the techniques of protection to protect yourself against psychic intrusions. All right. It's called Psychic Self-Defense. You can go online and order it. Any other questions? Okay, we can close out.